And good evening, everybody. Welcome on into the Dragon's Den. How's it going, Wick Allen, RC Spaceport? Hope you're doing well. Doing well. Central over on YouTube. Thank you for following both streams. So we're working on the Delta Flyer tonight, and we're going to do our best, fingers crossed, to push plastic tonight. So here's something that, or a couple things that happened since last stream. I updated things, right? I didn't update Clipper. I updated the system files. Then I updated Moonraker, and it stopped connecting to Moonraker. Hey, Eagle the Dragon, how's it going? Yep, we'll be seeing you all, what, Monday? And yeah, so that was interesting. And so the couple of things that I tried to do was I tried to fix it, couldn't get it fixed, and decided, okay, let me just go in and redo the file. Now I'm frustrated because the instructions were to grab the full Clipper install, throw it on the machine, throw the printer config, and go. And then when I attempted to update things that should have been benign, like we all know, never update Clipper. But this is the first time I've updated Moonraker, and Moonraker is completely pooched, right? Am I able to roll back the update? Well, no, RC Spaceport, because I've overwritten the file several times. I did the minimal install and couldn't get it to do an update. Armbian, what was it? Armbian, or well, Debian Bookworm would not update. And not only would it not update, it's failing on the SHA files trying to do the update. Like it says the SHA files are not correct. So it stops and will not update. So I go back and flash it with, before Bookworm, Bullseye. And I got Bullseye on there, got it updated, did a, downloaded Kaya, installed Kaya, dropped the printer config file and put it over there. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm still taking the error, and it took me a little bit to realize what the error was. And the error is the fact that the MCU needs to be set up as a Clipper client. So now, still a bit frustrated, but I think where I'm at is blow it away, follow the instructions, and re-put on the Clipper version of the Armbian, latest Armbian image, and just don't update anything at all. I think that might be the easiest way to do it. Who Shrunk the Digital Dragon? Hey, Kit Skyfire, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Ramon, how's it going? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a little frustrated, but that's the software side of the hobby. And it doesn't help that I've been working on other printers most of the day as well. Frustration should be there. When you're dealing with broken 3D printers that come in for yeah, the only other thing that we could try and do, I really don't like being on Bullseye either, if I can help it, because Bullseye is going to be an older version, and we really need to update that. So, all that said, let's jump back over to the full display. Now I guess we got you over here on the bench side. You can see the printer here. There is a panel installed. The effector is up and installed. So yeah, pretty much it's ready to go to push plastic. You know, stepper buzz, macros, this, that, and the other thing. But what we're going to do is stop the printer, shut it down, and we'll reflash the drive again, and we'll go from there. Not that I got multiple computers sitting on my desk. I don't think I'm going to need this one for a while, so we'll push this one over here and let it continue charging. Probably without forgetting that that line is there. I did just pull the thing out, didn't I? What'd I do with the... What'd I do with the SD card? I just pulled it out. Oh, Jesus. Apparently put it on something and it blended in so well that I lost sight of it. It's going to be one of those days. Okay, so SD card goes in. SD card gets attached into our USB extension port. It comes up, says, hey, I've got a drive there. Awesome. We'll come over to Balana Etcher. And we're going to flash from file. Let's grab, not the minimal, the one with the Clipper kernel. Let that drive there and flash away. All right, now while that's going on, like I said, we have hung the effector. Bench side. I'll bring this a little bit closer. And we'll... Okay, so... we went ahead and hung the effector. I did all of the arms off of stream using the jig, one jig, only print one, do all of your arms on the same jig. That way you know that all of your arms are the same distance, because when you're building your arms, you'll stick the two ends on and then you'll put them down on the M3 screws, and that's going to keep them from pushing out from each other, because getting the epoxy in one side is basically going to kind of seal that side. So when you put it in the other side, it's going to push the screw and arm out the other way. But we got all those epoxied in, and we got the arms on, which allowed us to hang the effector and then run the wires for our effector. And I redid the wiring in here about 5 times. I have successfully now busted that part again. So the power connector is sort of free floating right now. So we'll have to do something with that. let's see, we got the side panel on because you have to have the side panel on in order to mount the extruder. And so we have the extruder mounted here. It's pretty easy extruder. The extruder's already built. What you'll do is add the tension arm, sandwich it between the mount with the motor, 3 screws, you're done, right? And my camera froze. Why is my camera? You? All right, we're going to see why the camera's free. Okay, so we've got our extruder. This is a standard, BMG with an LDO motor, BMG clone, I should say. It's all pre-assembled. All you have to do is add the tension arm with the spring and the washer, sandwich it on the mount. We do have to cut the third lug at the top here has to get cut out, and that makes room for the screw that mounts your uprights. So you'll mount the uprights to cover up your cabling. Then you'll mount this, and the way it mounts, screws come from the inside and go into a heat set or a heat press insert. The nice thing is it kind of self-centers in the hole, and you're not trying to get super, super tight. If you get super, super tight, you're going to crack the acrylic, and you don't want that. The other thing is once you hang the arms, you do have to run the rubber bands. Now, the nice thing is we have 6 of the 105 millimeter arms, and they gave us 12 of the 100 millimeter arms. We're using the 100 millimeter arms. We only need 6 of them. So we have a full set of spare arms, and we've got a full set of spare rubber bands if our rubber bands break. So good there. I followed Canrog's suggestion and cut the PTFE tube at about 300, 310 millimeters. So yeah, I figured we would do the other 2 plates, side plates, the one side plate and the door after we verify that everything is moving right. Hey, Jedi Spidey, how's it going? We had everything moving, well, not moving. We validated power to the tool head, temperatures. We did that stuff on the last stream. The end stops. My particular color scheme here, right? The plutonic purple, my end stops were not triggering the Hall, or not Hall sensors, but the infrared sensors, right? So what I did was I took a Sharpie and just painted maybe 5 millimeters at the top of each flag. So you just black Sharpie, cover about 5 millimeters at the top of these flags, and that'll work to make them opaque enough to trigger. Yeah, I was sitting down up against the wall, so you kind of basically just had a little bit lower than my neck, like top of my shoulders. So how's everything going over at your place, Spidey? Hopefully everything's going well. Like I said, had to do some rerouting. We had our cable coming up through here, and I had it up and over. It needs to go through the hole in the top plate, not up and over this groove. The only thing coming up and over the groove is this motor wire, and your power supply. Everything else needs to go through the internal groove. This one is a thicker cutout than the other two to accommodate that. And that way these channels will go in and cover up this main set of wiring. And then your other wiring can get the cable sleeving to make it look pretty. I think we can go ahead and put our plate on, because we should be setting our Z distance and everything and doing the calibration shortly, hopefully, fingers crossed. There you go, Spidey. Yeah, I had a few people that said that they saw me on TikTok today. A couple that have seen me on Facebook, so that's how they learned about the store and came in. So we had a little bit of foot traffic today. Not a whole lot. It was kind of rainy and dreary a bit, so we'll have to see. Yes, this is an awesome desk pad. This is a 3D print SOS desk pad. I've got a KB3D one over on the cash register counter, and the Westry 3D or Westry ones that has Mia on it. I have that at the house still, but I still have my Mia over here. The one of a kind fuzzy skin Mia print from Westry. So this is a one of a kind. She sits over here and keeps an eye on me, makes sure that, you know, I do the things right on stream. Yep, Mia! All right, we're almost done on the validation over here, so I'll flip back over to the full display so we can start seeing that. Yeah, and I also have a standard Voron one somewhere. I'm gonna put that down there. Autoplay, go away. Cancel. Flash completed, that's great. Now what we need to do is pull out the USB stick, put it back in, and get off that because that's kind of scary. And now that'll give us access to the drive again. And we're going to change a few things in the system config. And as noted on the last stream, do not open this in Notepad. Do not open this in Word or anything like that. It will add weird character returns and jack up the file. You're going to open it up. You can open it up in Visual Studio Code or with Notepad++. Not Notepad, Notepad++. What we're going to do is we're going to change the host name. So we're going to uncomment that. We're going to call this DD3D Dragonfly. We're going to change our time zone. We're going to make this America /new_York Eastern time zone. We're going to come down here to Wi-Fi, the SSID, and it's DD3D-printer. We'll do the Wi-Fi password, super secure. And save this file. We don't need to do anything for the Big Tree Pi or Pad 7 or anything like that. That's all we should need in here. So that file was saved. Now we can go ahead and eject that file or that drive. Grab your SD card. Put that back in your the EZ01 board. Plug it in. And away we go. Give that a couple of minutes to do its initial write and all that good stuff. It should still pull the same IP address because it's going to see the MAC address of the wireless network or the wireless card and give it the same IP address. Give it a second. I'm going to get a little sugar to go with my caffeine. Hey, Projects in Dagn's Garage, how's it going? Built over Brabant? Yeah, I can probably help you on the HDMI 5. We can probably get that working for you. And let me pop over here, full display. Been about, so we're still at the 156 IP address. And like I said, everything came up. There's an include file. Understood, this printer config is probably not the right file. Refresh that. There we go. You got Crow's Nest, Mainsail, Moonraker, blah, 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 blah. What it tells us to do is create a directory called old. We're going to take the print area bed mesh config, put it in old. We're going to take the printer config, put it in old. Okay? And I'll say this is the other reason why I don't like doing the what I'll call the fat flipper install is it's got Crow's Nest, it's got Clipper Screen, it's got everything installed whether it needs to be there or not. So yeah, there's quite a bit here. Do not update all components. Do not really do any update because like I said, as soon as I did Moonraker, it stopped working. I could not connect to Moonraker anymore. Yeah, there's pretty much a specific file that you have to uncheck or comment out in, it's the boot EMD. Try and bring it up here in a second. Looks like we're good, so I'll go ahead and close that. It's still doing its little thing over here. While it's doing that, we are going to upload a file. We're going to grab the printer, case 5, the one I just downloaded. We'll have to rename it to get rid of the extra characters to make it just printer.cfg. And this is our full printer config file for the Delta Flyer refit. And serial for the MCU is here. This is for the actual Raspberry Pi 2040. And then you'll see that the MCU H616 is listed here as a Clipper MCU. That's the part that was hanging me up before on the previous on Bullseye. So this should come up good. Do a save and restart, which is what it tells us to do. And it should come up. And I will tell you this. If you look at the clipper here, it's on version 12.0-401. And Clipper is currently on 13.0-541. If you update this, you're going to be hating life. Like I said, pretty much it's a gamble right now if you update anything, because I updated Moonraker and it stopped talking. So this is the one that kind of makes me cringe. So I will probably try and do system updates and roll the dice, not during stream. Later tonight, after we get things done, we'll roll the dice on the 206 packages to upgrade on the system. That is the cybersecurity person in me. If I don't do at least that, it's going to kill me. But things came up. We're getting system loads over here, which is good. That tells me that we're up and running. Now, you can do query end stops. I prefer to come down here and click end stops down here. As you can see, they're all open. Okay. Going to try and move these up one at a time. I just did B. B is triggered. I'm going to move A up. Move A up. There we go. And A is now triggered. I'll move C all the way up. Thought I had it all the way up. Oh, A, why is C not triggered? Okay, C's triggered now. All right, so they've all triggered, so that's good. Pull them all down a little bit and test. Now they're all three open again. So that's good there. Your printer is now up and running. Make sure to read through the config file. There's a lot of useful information in there. That is a true statement. He's included a set of macros that'll help get us going. If you're like me, you can sort them to make things a little more organized. You can actually break them out and create like groupings. So you might have groupings for just like calibrations and put all the calibration stuff over there. Print macros, stuff like that. Let's get the Delta Motion system calibrated. You want to press the macro called InStops calibration. Printer will home itself and start the build and InStop calibration tool. After it's done, press the save and restart button at the top of the screen. Okay, before we do that, I was going to say, before we do that, let's make sure, try and do like a stepper buzz to see if things go in the right direction. But you know what? We're going to let her fly. Bring y'all in. And we will flip the screen around here. So you're there. Get the all right. So we got the printer here, got the instructions up here, we're good to go. All right, so it says in-stops calibration is what we want to click on. Printer will home itself, start the built-in in-stop calibration tool. After it's done, press the save and restart button, top of the screen. So in-stop calibrate is first. Come down here to all of our macros, grab in-stop calibration. All right, that's not good. So one of the in-stops was not triggering. I have a feeling it was that C in-stop, which is back here. So I just did an emergency stop, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure all the wires are good. Nothing looks funny. Nothing looks funny. Let me go ahead and hit that with a Sharpie again. Ought to be fun now that I've covered one side up. Go ahead and hit them all again. Now the other way around this would be to reprint the carriages in like black. This normally works. I've done this trick numerous times, so we'll do a restart. Okay, so we're back up and running. Let's try that again with a in-stop calibration. Hey, Timur over on the YouTube side, how's it going? It is so cool seeing these deltas do their thing. Okay, so it looks like everything went well. We're going to go ahead and do save config. Kind of do the little reboot dance. Now we'll make sure the effector tool head moves parallel to the bed using the good old paper method. Press the Delta Calibrate manual macro and use the on-screen tool that pops up to adjust each of the 7 points on the bed. To do this, place a piece of paper between the nozzle and the bed. Slowly lower the tool head using the minus button so you feel resistance on the paper. Now fine tune it so you can move the paper. Still have a little bit of resistance, except you're happy. Repeat until the tool is complete. The amount of resistance isn't important, just make sure it's about the same amount across all points. So, what I tend to use for these, I'm going to come over here to my maintenance area and grab the handy dandy one. Is a Post-it note. Take a Post-it note, fold the sticky side over on itself, create a little ear by folding up one corner, and you now have a piece of paper that you can use to do your calibrations with. Rotate this around just a little bit towards me. Need to hang it from the ceiling like a 70s lamp. You know what? I could. Well, I don't know. I could at the house. I don't know how well I could do it here at the business. Like the fire marshal may have a difference of opinion there. Okay, so we're doing the Delta Calibrate Manual. That would be this one right here. Go to Home, come down. Okay. And we're going to line up underneath the nozzle. This has never had any filament in it, so not going to have an issue. Hey, Tinkering Techie, how's it going? Tinkering Techie, you had something that you won during the opening. That something has arrived. So all right, so that's hard stop there. Go back up one, we'll start coming down in small increments. And actually, one thing it did say is if you skip steps at any point, abort and start over. So I'm going to home all because we did skip steps because we drove it into the bed. You'll be there next Sunday? Awesome. Is it pizza? No, not pizza. Not pizza. So Delta Calibrate Manual. Home. Right. Didn't skip a step, but I am pretty tight because I can't pull that now. Go back up 0.1. I just dropped down to the next smaller increment. Feeling it drag. I like that right there. I'll accept that. It'll go to its next point. Oh, excuse me. Up that. Come over to its next point. And I don't know if you can notice the numbers on the screen, but they are all over the place. So don't assume like, oh, it went up to 20 and I was at 11, so the next one's going to be at 11. Not necessarily. Like spiraling out. Um, yeah, so while we're doing this, has anybody ever owned a printer that is set to full step for the micro stepping? We got a printer that came in that's over on the repair bench, and it's oh, save config, and we'll update the printer config file. Well, there we go. Not this guy, yeah. So it's interesting. It's a FlashForge Dreamer. It was around 2010s, and the complaint was it looks like I'm printing fuzzy skin and it's not sliced for fuzzy skin, which is true, right? So it very much does look like fuzzy skin on the print that came in with it. I tore the tool head down, cleaned everything out, but this is the artifacting that we're getting. This is the print that it came in with. I tore it all the way down, or the tool head all the way down, cleaned the machine up, everything else, and lighting. There we go. this is what we're getting. And when you run the motors, so what I basically did was I unplugged the 2 extruder motors and plugged in a Bondtech motor, Bondtech flat Nemus, pancake motor, and told it to extrude. Heated the hot end up, told it to extrude, and it feels like it's chunking. It's moving, right? It's a constant movement on the gear, but it feels like it's hitting hard points, right? So it almost feels like it's tick, 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 but it's not fighting itself. So it's wired correctly. And I know that because I took this wire, a known good wire that we hadn't installed on the extruder yet, and then bypassed the wire to see, is there an issue with the wire? Because I'm getting the same effect with a different motor that's not related to that printer. So, not the motor. I used a completely different cable and plugged it directly into the MCU and got the same issue with the Bondtech motor. So, it's not the wiring. I swapped steppers on the board. No change. I swapped another FlashForge stepper from a different, newer FlashForge printer. No change. So my first thought looking at this is, oh, it's a PTFE lined hot end. They had already done an all metal upgrade. So it's all metal. So it's not that. Then they use plastic arm extruders. Are those busted? No. Once again, I took the extruders fully apart. So it's not PTFE, not the extruder. And I've cleared the steppers and everything up to the motors. And we validated that the X, the Y, and the Z motors kind of do that chunking as well. So the only thing I can think of is it is set for either full step or half step in the firmware. So, and it's running an older version of the firmware. And granted, we have to go to the Internet Archive and download a firmware from the firmware I can get off the website. It's the flash print software that we have to use to install the firmware, that if you use the new one, it doesn't work either. So you have to go back and get like a way super old version from like 2004 or something. All kind of craziness. Hey, 3D Medic Minutes, how's it going? Wow. Why is Moonraker failing again? Because I didn't update anything, right? All we did was, check the bed level. This is weird. You just not like me talking about another printer? I'll talk about you. It's all good. Good printer. We like you. You're really cool. You're unique. Might have to power cycle this and see what's going on. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I think it's a firmware thing. Yeah, use a jealous Delta Flash. Exactly. I think it is a firmware thing with that other printer, and it just needs to be. We're going to try and update the firmware, and I hope it we'll take the firmware, because the only other option at that point would be to rebrain it, because you can't get the boards anymore. If you're getting a board, it's going to be an aftermarket board. Redo that. Giggles. Make sure we're not getting any interference. I'm going to pull that Wi-Fi wire out and just dangle it over the side. Saw the lights go on. There we go. We're back up and running. She's giving me the silent treatment. No kidding. Okay, so we did the in-stop calibration. We did the Delta calibrate. We did the accept. And it says save and restart. That save config. Save config will restart. PID tune. You want to PID? We want to calibrate our heaters, so we want to do the PID hot end and the PID heat bed macros. That's nice. They have the macros for us, so we don't have to sit here and go through and do it. I don't necessarily. We're not that far away. But let's home all. Why? Why? Why are you doing that again? I think it's just getting too much force when it's going the full length. So it's just hitting hard. Okay. Where's the PID? There we go. PID hot end. That one should go faster. Glad I moved it away from the bed, since it just moved itself to the bed. Alrighty. So how's everyone doing this evening? Hopefully everyone's doing great. While this is doing this, we'll go ahead and make a couple of announcements. Pop up the other camera here so you guys can see down the corner. Whoops. Didn't expect it to be the full camera. Down here. And let me bring you down here so we don't get the Honey, I Shrunk the Dragon. Hey, there you go. You get to see some more dragon. March 1st is a Sunday. It is going to be our first Maker Meetup Day here at Digital Dragon 3D. Right? So we do have a topic for this Maker Meetup. It will be material selection considerations. We're going to start by, we open at noon on Sundays. So from noon to 1:30, we'll let people come in. We'll do some introductions, chit chat, and just let people show up and get settled in. We'll start the conversation. It's not going to be like, oh, PowerPoint slides, and we're going to teach you what it is. It's going to be an open discussion, right? And it's going to be open discussion based on who all shows up. And I say that because we've had a lot of folks coming in talking or asking us about RC race cars specifically and printing parts for those. We had a couple of people with some RC airplane parts that they were looking to build, and some other interesting projects. So what we want to do is just have an open discussion, and we'll play it by ear of where the conversation goes based on the people that are here and what their what their interests and hobbies are, so that we can tailor the discussion to what they're looking for and what might be meaningful to them. So March 1st, okay. So I've got it'll trigger sometimes and not other times. Awesome. Okay. Tidbit will take a little bit longer because, well, normally it would take a little bit longer just because it's larger mass. Yes, that's going on Sunday, March 1st. Also at that time, we're going to announce our first round of classes, which is going to be about basically like 3D Printing 101. We've also had a lot of people in here asking if we're going to have classes that are new to 3D printing, just got their first 3D printer. One of them basically came in today and said, we've had it for a week, and all we've done so far is take it out of the box. And they came by and was chatting with us. So we're going to announce our first set of classes on the 1st as well. We'll set up the events we'll set them up as events on the web page, Facebook, Discord, so forth. So if you're in the local area and interested in some classes, go out there on Discord and let us know what you'd be interested in learning, right? Like I said, we are going to do some 3D Printing 101, but if you're interested in learning things like CAD or Onshape or Tinkercad or Nomad Sculpt, or just topics on, how to design for 3D printing or anything like that, just let us know. And we'll work on getting the class put together and getting one going. Maker meetups I am expecting to have on a monthly basis. And we are going to look at trying to have them on specific topics. Okay? So just be on the lookout for those. What else is going on? March 3rd, which is a Tuesday, is our ribbon cutting ceremony with the city. So we'll have people from the mayor's office, potentially the mayor, or at least representatives from the mayor's office, the Sanford Area Growth Alliance, Downtown Sanford, which is development organization, and several others down here for a ribbon cutting ceremony. Got family that are coming into town for that as well. So, yeah, good times. I have a response from Kitty. It's, once again, they're going through the Chinese Lunar New Year, so slower to respond, but we will be getting the Cheetah printer line in soon. So we'll have some of those. The nice thing with those is bigger build volume, chamber heaters, and less expensive than another well-known brand. If you know, you know. I also have finally gotten into contact with, I'm going to butcher his name, Bill Escadillion of Escadillion Creative Works. You may know him from his TikTok videos and 3D Printopia, where he is selling Kadivi plate. So he is assisting me in the connection with Kadivi so that we can bring in the Kadivi plate. And I am specifically looking at standard bamboo 256 by 256, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 260 by 260 plates, the Flash Forge plates, since I carry those, and the Snapmaker U1 plates, since I know a lot of people in the area that have Snapmakers and have been looking for those plates. So I will be working to get those in as soon as I can get that, order put together, sent over, accepted, and payment made. So Yeah. So a couple of new things coming to the store. Got a couple of new colors coming that a certain Spidey with Jedi senses will like. Say that because they're colors he specifically asked for. And then still working. I know what the numbers are. What I'm trying to do is figure out the cash flow numbers to also start bringing in some ambrosia filaments. And my intent with the ambrosia will be to bring it in as ASA ABS first. And if people want the ambrosia in PETG, PLA, what have you, we'll look into bringing those in as well. But I'm trying not to have too many differing items or SKUs to have to track and do inventory management. And yes, Eagle, I've got family that shows up on Monday. We'll be here for a few weeks with. A lot going on. It has been busy and continues to stay busy. The bed takes a little bit longer. It's going up to 60C. Even though we did print this out of ABS parts, I don't think I will ever be pushing ABS through this. I think it's just going to be a PLA and PETG printer. While this is going on, for you, Projects in Dad's Garage, Doc's LDO Motors. The place I normally tend to go, not guide, boron, 2.4, wiring guide, pick one. And we scroll down here to the setting up the touch screen. Okay. Go back over here, full display, so that you can see where I'm going. So once again, docs.ldomotors.com. I go over to the Voron setting, or Voron 2.4, and pick one of the wiring guides. And you're looking for the section on setting up the touchscreen. Okay? Read this guide for information on touchscreen setup instructions for rotating the screen orientation. You've got the hardware setup, the FPC cable install, software setup. Clipper screen should already be there, right? Use Clipper screen, follow these. I remember it. Nope, not that one. Gotta be down here. Yes. In the config.txt file, Projects in Dad's Garage, I hope you're still out there and you're listening. In the config.txt file out there, so you're looking for boot config.txt. It's most likely in /boot/firmware/config.txt now. If that path doesn't work, it should tell you the other path, which I believe is /boot/firmware/config.txt. You're looking for a thing that says DT overlay equals VC4-FKMS-V3D. It will most likely say DT overlay equals VC4-KMS-V3D. The F won't be there. Guess what? Still comment that line out. If you do not comment this line out right here, whether it says FKMS or just KMS, comment that line out. If you do not, it does not pick up your screen. Flipper screen itself will not go in. It will, you'll see it run through everything because that's the standard Linux boot up. And then it'll load this config.txt in the overlay. And if this is still commented or not commented out, it will not bring up that GUI. Okay, so hopefully Projects in Dad's garage there. If not, then I will have to ping him via Discord a little bit later. See where we're at over here. Got a connection failed, try again. Whoa. So I don't know if it did the PID values and updated on its own like the other one did. Now I'm not getting, lights are still on. Nobody appears to be home. Slightly concerned. I don't know if this is a known issue with these boards where it does this or what. Just did a reset on the H616 side. See if it will reload the Linux software and get us back into mainsail. That's a negative. Yeah, and this is basically an an integrated CB1 on this board. This is the Big Tree Tech, was it the BZ01? Or no, DZ01. So this is a relatively new board out of Big Tree Tech. I don't know if it was designed specifically for the Delta Flyer or what have you, but yeah, we're having issues with this CB1 module. Lights are coming up, so it's probably just Moonraker hasn't pulled initialized. Now, don't get any of the old consoles. I don't know where we're at on PID tuning, whether or not it saved it. So we can come in here to machine, printer config, scroll down to the bottom, because if it's PID tuned, it would have dropped it in here. And I just see the hot end. So we did not get the PID tune values kept for the bed. So we'll have to PID the bed again. Now I took communication timeout during homing. Yeah, with this being an all-in-one board, we don't really have a, I mean, I guess you could probably pop a Raspberry Pi as an external device and plug it in USB, but we're kind of at a standstill there. Closing camera. Excuse me as I play with the cameras and see if I can get it to. Sorry, folks. I am trying to figure out why this camera just shut off on me. Back. Okay, miraculous. What that was about. Probably a Windows driver being a Windows driver thing. Goes along well with the CB1 doing weird. So doing a pit of the hotbed, it's going to heat up to 60. Do its fluctuating up and down. The part cooling fan is on for this process, so that's good. I'm like kind of scared to go away from this screen. Delta Flyer can print PLA, PETG, ABS, TPU, and PC. Interesting. Wow. And it looks like the Delta Flyer is baked into Orca Slice. While this is doing its thing, change the application. And we'll come over here to the printer configs and see if we can't find the roll-on design. And there we go. There's the roll-on design Delta Flyer. Also got the Rook Mark 1 LDO in here. Grab the Delta Flyer with a 0.4 nozzle. Filaments should be available for all filaments. Roll-on Delta Flyer there. Should have pretty much all the main filaments to work with. Got the roll-on design stuff here. There we go. And come in here and grab a generic high-speed PLA. We'll drop that down and hold it off as we finish out doing the PID tune. Trying to make sure that this does not decide to take a siesta and go to sleep on us again. You know, I do wonder though. Okay, so heads up, the H616 is getting a little toasty, and there is not a heat sink that comes for it. But I have a few heat sinks. So we'll find a heat sink that'll fit that, and we'll put a heat sink on it. And then we'll be able to also add the top cover and get some fanage going. Big, but nothing's around it. So that work. I didn't even think about looking at the thermals on this and whether or not we've got a little bit of heat going on it. Should really not be plugging in electronics, especially one that's on, but we're going to. Turn the roller fan on. See if we can't get some air pulled out off of the top of that and pull that chip down some. I mean, the MCU at 52 degrees is not that much. Well, you got the MCU, which is the Raspberry Pi. The host was around 58. Looks to be coming down now. That'll help a little bit. Got 5 ripples. We should almost be done with the PID hotbed. Scary. Okay. So it just shut off and rebooted. So as part of the PID macros, it's saving the PID parameters. Oh. And the next thing that our guide was telling us about was setting up the Orca slicer, which we just did. Enable stealth mode, and have ever had a enable stealth mode. Play and look at this. Print area, print bed, height. Start extruder, nozzle temp, bed temp. Pretty standard there. Set up for multi-material. Okay. There. Feed. There. Like I said, I don't know what they mean by enable stealth mode. I've never seen that configuration on a Orca before. Enable the install Bamboo network plugin and press next. Let it install and click close. We do have that available. What we can do now is come over here and click the network connection icon. We'll put in either the host name or the IP name. Wonder. Can't find that. Hey, Waters, how's it going? Figure it is. Okay. 921681156. 921681156. Link, Prusa Connect, Flasher, Repetier, should be Octoclip. I miss 2.3.1 or newer. It is. Do I not have the network plugin installed? Should be. Back to a bunch of other printers. Check for only stealth mode. Oh, there we go. There's the stealth mode. We got that. Ah, enable network plugin. That might be useful. You just got home? We're working on first print tonight. Yes, yeah. So we're finding, I want to say, issues with the DZ01, but yeah, she keeps hanging on us. Keeps doing some weird things. I just put a heat sink on the DZ01, and we've got the controller fan plugged back in. So hopefully that'll do something and help. We're running through the config right now. Now that we've got the thing plugged in, can we, nope. Might have to do a reboot, or not a reboot, but a close out and go back into Orca to get it to 231. It also helps if we get that works. Okay, so now we have the ability to slice a file and send a file. That's always good. Now have access to main cell directly in the slicer in the device tab. Yes, first print. Your first print, we're going to do a Z offset fine tune as well as check our leveling. Right click the build area, add primitive, cylinder, scale a tool on the top toolbar and uncheck uniform scale, do 80/80.2. Wow, that sounds very, very familiar. Okay. So we're going to come in here. They said to right click, add primitive cylinder. Going to scale and check uniform on an 80/80/0.2 millimeter. We're going to make sure that it is centered. Slice the plate, ready to go. Come over to device and we should get our main sail. And we need to put some filament in her. And our filament that we're going to use today is going to be some Epax neon green. Epax neon green. Out of the way. filament's there. It said to come in here and click load filament. Gonna heat our hot end up to 220 and should pull this in. Hey, Maker Viking, how's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Killer Dragon, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. We are working. Why is that looking at me? Decided to follow me. Focused over here. This. Go up there, big one. So it is loading filament in. Could be loading it all the way down. Coming right about here. Working our way down. Oh, not a problem, Killer Dragon. It happens. And we are pooping filament, folks. You can see it coming out down there. We're pooping filament. Okay. Now I need to grab something to get the pooped filament. Extrusion. Pooped filament. Okay. So we've got our file ready to go. Loaded our filament. Back to the preview tab, press print, followed by upload and print. Back over here, our slicer, preview, print, upload and print. Lights flickered to let us know that it got the file. Oh. Next month, Discord is going to have people to scan their face and their ID. Oh, well, huh? I did not know that. They're going to make you scan your face and ID to prove that you're of age, eh? Uh-oh. I'm doing pretty good, Maker Viking. Been a good week. Been a good week. Time to buy TeamSpeak stock. Might not be a bad idea. They half backtracked. Yeah. The Delta Flyer up and running, so that's good. Now to see if we get a first layer going good. So we took an error. SD card reset can't run from the SD card. And it took a communication timeout during homing. So once again, going up and doing that quick homing seems to give it fits. So let me try and do an upload and print again. Yeah, it's still taking that timeout error that you're not seeing because it's a different screen. So SD card timeout error, file selected, file open. So it is trying now. Fan is going. It did drop the host temperature down. Bolt, root, TeamSpeak, and Flux are saved, ready to go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on, and I get worried a bit about the UFTA. That's we're way high. Um, where are you? Like I'm trying to bring this down, and Z is at like 0.2. Why are you way up there? Not only that, but I've clicked it numerous times and it's not moving any. I mean, the offset is negative 0.65. Come on. Okay. I'll say we got a problem here, Will Robinson. Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that we were a little bit off. This issue over here, it was hitting the cord in the back and was knocking it off. So and it actually looked like the first layer or the first outer ring was low and then jumped up because we do have some residue on. Good thing this is double-sided. Okay, we're going to save that. We'll give it another shot. We're going to print the same file over and see what we come up with. Hey, Penguin Makers, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Oh, wow, that hurt. Oh. for the Bang Discord there, Killer Dragon. It seems to get up pretty darn fast. You all in printer. Oh, yeah. And there you go. We skipped steps. So yeah, something's wrong. Pause, cancel. So we skip steps and then it jumps up. So kind of makes me feel like our initial calibration is bad. So we'll have to redo that. We'll get rid of our little spooge there. Send it to my DMs. All right, thanks, Killer Dragon. I'm gonna let this cool down and get rid of as much of the spooge and stuff that pops out on it. And then we'll get out our paper again and we'll redo our first couple of steps. Our in-stop calibration should be good. What we'll need to work on is the bed mesh, basically. That's the part that's a little janked. Come back up here and delta calibrate. So for giggles, do the in-stop calibration again. And it took a communication timeout during homing. How? Okay, so yeah, we're going to be having some issues here, and against my better judgment, I am going to click upgrade on the system stuff. But this is going to be an issue if we continue to take communication timeouts, because it's going to be too hard to troubleshoot if we're continuing to take communication timeouts on the DZ01. So may wind up not being able to make too much more progress tonight unless this gets figured out. This is doing its thing. Do a quick search over here. Awesome. So if you search BTT DZ01, it basically comes up with all the Delta Flyer kit people. Hey, State Line Customs, how's it going? Welcome on in. But look, error updating system packages. Exit failed run. Brand new 32 gig card. Yeah. I have the control. Click on the heater bed or extruder. Separate A, B, or pretty much you turn anything on kickstart. I have to remember what the thing is, but I want to change that from a heater or stepper temperature and base it off the temperature controller. So how's it going, State Line Customs? Hopefully you're having a good day. I'm getting frustrated, but it's software stuff. I'll say it's designed to frustrate you. We push plastic, but we need to run through some calibrations, and the calibrations keep failing due to a communication timeout. Do you think we need to put a the RPI 2040 is not. Yeah, the H616 is pretty warm. And with them having the controller fans set for only coming on when the bed heats up or something moves, really needs to be set up as a temperature-based fan based off of the controller MCU itself. Because basically we're just sitting here running the processor right now and doing updates, and it's going to keep erroring because it keeps getting hot. Um, Has anybody on here built a Delta Flyer? And have you experienced this issue at all? Air it out again. What? I don't know if I have a bad board or what is going on here. I may have to jump out on Discord and check in with, I'll say, powers that be over on Rolahan's server and see if a lot of people are having issues with these boards or what's going on. Or if they're going down to the bookworm install, or I'm sorry, bullseye install instead of bookworm, because yeah, if I can't even home without taking a communication error, that's an issue. Yeah, it just crapped out again with a communication timeout during homing. All right, cool. Not a problem, Killer Dragon. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to let me check something fast here. Um, yeah, folks, I'm gonna have to go out on Rohan's page and try and figure out what is going on here, because if we're gonna continue to have this, remember the issue an in-stop short? Um, yeah. Would Clippy Log give us any? Give us. I go all the way to the bottom. All right, sounds good, Killer Dragon. Have a good night. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is this board's getting hot. I did put a um I did put a heat sink on the H616. Okay, so here's the TMC steppers resetting. Communication timeout during homing. Being the issue communication timeout during homing, I think that is an error with the Big Tree Tech CB1 board. Yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, this is an all-in-one board. So I don't get the luxury of replacing the module. It's baked in. All right, I'm just trying to dig through the log file right now to see if there's anything useful coming out of the log file. I mean, it could potentially also be a bad SD card. Brand new one out of the box, but that doesn't mean that it is not susceptible. Prefer to grab one right, a new one out of the package so that we can say it was new out of the package. Um, hmm. Well, I'll make it a little bit difficult. I thought I had a new one over here, but unfortunately, the new one I have is 128 gigs, so that will probably not work. Because if I remember right, there's also a size limit, and if you go too big, they just kind of fall over and give up. So we'll try a different SanDisk 32 gig, and we'll just try and rebuild it again. Guess we have the technology, right? Yep. Um, Etcher. Go ahead and try and do the full build. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's about the only thing I can think of to do because I don't have a valid way of, swapping the CB1 out. It's a all-in-one build. I really don't like I said, looking at this, everything on this full build is way outdated and needs to get updated. I'd almost rather just flash a minimal and use Kaya to install, the basics of everything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try different cards, see how that goes. If we can at least we can get the other card to come up and we can run all the updates without an issue, then that would sort of lead me, or not all the updates, but just the system updates without an issue. That would almost lean me towards the issue being the card itself versus anything else. Anybody, give me 1 second to go check a printer. I'm not sure if this print finished or if it just stopped again. Oh, oh, it did finish. Awesome. Hmm. Leave that there for Evil Diesel as it was his print. So, Rolahan. Rolahan. Um, there's a decent amount of comments. All right, where are we at here? Etcher is halfway done validating. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to look up some stuff while we're doing this. Yeah, don't know. Yeah, it looks like a few people have had the issue with the communication timeout. Yay. So it tells you to go and people are going and updating the TR sync timeout. That's going to be all right. So our whatchamacallit, Lana Etcher is done. So now we've got two things. We can try the TR sync issue and try and fix that, or we can just swap the card out. Honestly, it's also 10 o'clock, streaming for a little over 2 hours. And I don't think I'm going to go down that rabbit hole on stream tonight. I may try and do that TR sync fix maybe tonight if I can get it squared away real fast. If not, figure something else out next stream. All right, folks. Thank you, everybody, for being here, both everybody on Twitch and everybody over on YouTube. I really do appreciate everybody being here and hanging out for the streams and chatting with me. Great to have everybody here. Like I said, announcement-wise, we have our first Maker Meetup March 1st. We will announce some initial classes during that Maker Meetup or right around that time. So be checking out the website and Discord and all that good stuff. March 3rd at 2 p.m. we have our ribbon cutting ceremony here at the shop. So we'll be doing that. And yeah, I think that's all we got for announcement. So thanks everybody for being here. It is what, a Saturday. Say we can jump over. You know what? Saturday, I'm going to say have a great night, everybody. Yeah, it's getting late. Everybody have a good night and take it easy. And I will see you all again on Tuesday. Bye now.